Egyptian Numerology, the Pythagorean Triangle and its Esoteric Meaning, Part 2. Egyptian Numerology. The Egyptians believed in the importance of numbers. One Perhaps the foremost proponent of this reality was the leading student of symbolist Egypt, René Schwaller de Lubitsch, 1887–1961, from Alsace-Lorraine, France. Schwaller de Lubitsch's second thesis is mathematical. Both the deliberate use of harmonic proportions in art and architecture and the numerical basis underlying Egyptian myth compelled him to a detailed reconsideration of Pythagoreanism, and to the construction of a system of thought consonant with the masterpieces of Egypt, with the fact of an empire that lasted 4,000 years. Number is all, declared the Pythagoreans. What is today called Pythagorean number mysticism is Egyptian in origin, if not older still, and corresponds to the underlying philosophy behind all the arts and sciences of Egypt. In effect, what Pythagoras did was to undramatize myth, a strategy that had the advantage of talking directly to those capable of thinking along these lines. The work of Schwaller de Lubitsch and the independent but complementary work of a few other contemporary thinkers, J. Binet, for example, has made it possible to re-express Pythagorean theory in a way acceptable to our thinking. When we reapply this to Egyptian myth, it becomes clear that these curious tales are based upon an understanding of number and the interplay of number, not upon animism, tribal superstitions, priestly feuds, the raw material of history or dreams. The divine significance of numbers is personified by the goddess Seshet, as the enumerator or the Lady of Builders. 3. The hymn found in the Leiden Papyrus I-350, Old Kingdom 2686–2134 BCE, demonstrates that number symbolism has been practiced since ancient times. The Leiden Papyrus consists of an extended composition describing the principal aspects of the ancient creation narratives. The system of numeration in the papyrus identifies the principle/aspect of creation and matches each one with its symbolic number. Ancient Egyptians understood that everything in the universe is animated by life forces. Therefore, each particle is in constant movement and has interactions due to the effect of these life forces. These principles were called Neteru, gods/goddesses. Numbers designated these energetic aspects of nature. Consequently, the entire universe is animated and vibrant, and each facet is considered either male or female. We can deduce the sense of living interactions by the expressions used in the Rhine mathematical papyrus, ca. 1650 BCE. I go 3 times into the hekot, a bushel, unit of volume, a seventh of me is added to me and I return fully satisfied. 5. The same papyrus also recommends that there are rules for inquiring into nature and for knowing all that exists, every mystery, every secret. Ancient Egyptians understood that everything in the universe is animated by life forces. Therefore, each particle is in constant movement and has interactions due to the effect of these life forces. The concept of the relationships between 3, 4, and 5 is as ancient as Egypt, and as old as the Great Pyramid of Giza. This powerful, magnificent structure conceals deeply mystical traditions that only recently have begun to be recognized by archaeological research. We know today exactly why the relationships between the number 3, 4, and 5 are so important, but it was a well-kept secret in ancient times. Since the Pythagoreans considered the first 10 numbers to be seed patterns for all the principles of the cosmos, a geometer needs only create their shapes to model all the universal rhythms. The first 3 shapes to emerge from the Psychopeces, the triangle, square and pentagon, 3, 4, 5, form the only relationship, or ratios, required to generate all the rest, except for sevenness. These relationships, called the square roots, are expressible not as whole numbers viewed as never-ending decimals. These ongoing relationships hold the structural pattern for all numbers and shapes that follow. The classical numbers 3, 4, 5 are represented in the very structure of the pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built in approximately 2560 BCE, at the time of the Old Kingdom. The number 1 is the whole structure itself. The triangular faces represent the number 3. The square base is the number 4, and finally, the four corners plus its apex complete the number 5, 8. This concludes part 2 of Egyptian numerology, the Pythagorean triangle and its esoteric meaning. Stay tuned for part 3, and while you're here, go and get your free numerology reading by clicking the link down below in the descriptions part of the page.